So I worked on a kids show, not with Disney, and it was a really positive experience. And then they learned that I was queer. And suddenly I was not brought back for the next season. And it was really interesting because it was almost like, and this is my perception, I don't know exactly what they were feeling, but it seemed like they were nervous that I was going to cause children to become queer. Like it was contagious.
Oh, it's very Florida.
You know, but also like I didn't even that's not what the job was. That's not in the script. We're not even talking about matters of sexuality.
Right.
This is for like 3 to 6 year olds. And
Oh my
we're
gosh.
learning, I can't give away too much, but like we're learning different life skills. And that was a moment where on the one hand, I had a lot of people commenting on posts being like, you're just using your queerness to profit. And then in reality, I was like, actually, I'm losing jobs and I'm not like gaining popularity here.
Right.
Until many years down the road when people felt more comfortable to be like, you were my queer crush growing up. And I'm like, no one told me. Like, I didn't know that. But yeah, that was an interesting thing to feel like, wait, something that I think is one of the most beautiful aspects of who I am is like something that you want to fire and like you want to punish. And yeah, it was sad too, because we already had a relationship. And so it was like, what changed? Because I didn't change. I've always been me, but you learned something about me and it went through a certain filter that you have. And instead of being able to have a conversation about it and stay human with each other, it's like something got between and the decision was made and I was off the show. I'm going through like a deep re-evaluation of whether I even wanted to get into the industry as a child or if it was kind of decided for me. My story has always been in my head that I've said in interviews for years is like, yeah, I chose this. And then we chose this because I wanted this. And I'm like, I was 3 years old when I was performing. I was 6 years old. 6-year-olds want a lot of things. And it doesn't mean that that all just happens. So what were all the other factors that added to them? And it's been tough because once I pull that thread, there's a lot that comes into question. But it happened when my nephew reached the age that I was getting into the industry, and I realized, oh my gosh, like you're not even sure what you want to eat for dinner. Like, how did I ever think that I single-handedly held the responsibility? Not that anyone ever told me that, but I just believed that.
Sure.
And I've carried that. So that's a big one.
Yeah.
A can of worms.
It's so interesting what comes up when you're put in front of a kid that is like the age
Yes,
of
when
what
something
you are.
happened.
Yeah. What you are reflecting on. It's like, whoa, hold on. Because
Right.
in your mind, you're like, oh, I could handle that. I've always been able to handle it. I was
Yeah.
mature, you know?
Right. Exactly.
Wow.
So now I'm like, no, you were a little baby.
Yeah.
And it's okay. If that wasn't something that you wanted, nope, we're not going to get those years back. A lot of beautiful things came from it, sure. A lot of challenging things came from it. Now, where do you want to go? And yeah, I'm just trying to create room for, again, I'm like very much in the process of the 7 steps of like, what does it mean to write something new and to actually dare to let something different happen? Because the world has had a story of all of us, right? Like your friends, your family, your teachers, all the people around you, like they know you for a thing. And sometimes we glue people to who we've known them as. And then, for example, you come out and they're like, but wait, you're not my little whatever thing that they wanted you to be anymore. Or you don't fit into the box of how I knew you. You've changed. And I'm trying to give myself that space to say, yeah, I might truly never be in the entertainment industry ever again. And like, that would be totally fine. Even though that's been the only map that I've had, that doesn't have to be the only map that I use.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. I can't wait to see what
I say
you
that,
do.
but here we are on camera. I'm like, yeah, I'm not even going to be on camera.
Never going to do this again after this.
Yeah. Leaves and goes to another interview. It's okay. Works in progress.
We're healing.
We're healing.